start with Granda again from the REV Robotics, and this is the second part of the tutorial, and we'll be finishing this drivetrain. The first part, we made the structure with the extrusions, and now we're gonna add the motors and the brackets. So let's get started. The first thing we want to do is upload the motor and put it somewhere, and now the bracket. Again, all the parts are from REV Robotics, and you can load them from there, the step file, and then you get them into 360. Now I'm gonna create a new component here, right? And I'm gonna name it motor, because I want to have the motor, the bracket, and the wheel inside this one component so that I can create copies of it, right? Of all of them together. So I name it motor. Now it's gonna be somewhere in here, yeah, right there. And I'm gonna move these two things inside, right? So now they are in here. But because I'm not gonna work with these extrusions until a while, I'm gonna hide them, right? So I'm gonna right click on this and click isolate, and that way I only see this. And now I'm gonna assemble these two together. They are not in the same orientation, so I'm gonna move it around, well, rotate it around, right? So something like that. And second one, okay, like that. There we go. So now I have to align them, right? I'm gonna make a joint. So this way, so joint. The first snap I'm probably gonna do is this. I'm gonna match the holes. I think that's probably gonna be easier. And bottom hole with this hole, and now all the holes are aligned. And I click OK, and now they move together. This is perfect. I'm gonna save it, and now these two are fine. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the wheel, the Mecanum wheel. So I'm gonna put that there, and Mecanum wheel. I'm gonna get it in here. I'm probably gonna move it somewhere else because right now it's in the middle. Okay, close this because I'm not gonna need it for a while. And this goes on the inside part, right? So I'm probably gonna rotate it around. So and I get into this in here, right? 180, enter. Now I'm gonna get this inside. Well, I need to get the axle inside this, right? So I'm gonna make another joint. As you may have noticed, all we're doing are joints, right? It's basically the one tool we're gonna be using for every assembly. Because it's gonna it allows us to define the relative position of the components. Right, so I'm gonna align with that. I'm gonna join that with this in here. Oh, not that one. Work with this one here. Let's see if that's better. If I flip it, maybe? No. Okay. What if I put this to 0? Okay, that works perfectly. And I'm gonna bring that down. Wait, actually, I don't think I have to flip it. Well, I do. Okay. So now I'm gonna break that down and click OK. So, well, it's upside down, right? So we have to redo that. So I'm gonna right click, add joint, and I'm gonna come in here and redo it again. So I'm gonna unflip it. Now I'm gonna rotate this, which is 180. Now click OK. Now it's fine. I think it's okay. This is good. It's pretty good. And we're basically, I'm gonna hide the joints because I don't like to see them, so I'm just gonna hide them. And we are done with the motor. Now we need 4 of them, right? I'm gonna put them in the drivetrain. So I'm gonna activate the drivetrain, and I'm gonna unisolate all this so that I can see everything else, right? So Before I do anything, I'm gonna rotate this. It's this one. Yeah. Now, this here is not at a nice angle, right? And it's actually upside down, right? So I have to rotate this, but it's very hard to rotate it with the move command because it's an angle that is probably not going to be a nice angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to align it with this here, right? So now it's going to attempt to align it. Okay, this with this. Oh, can't do it. Okay, that's actually very weird. I'm gonna try that again. Something else probably, maybe with this one. Okay, now it's nice, but now it's still upside down, so I'm just gonna flip it, and now we're good. Now I'm gonna move this somewhere, and now this is a nice angle, right? It's completely flat, just as this is, and now I have to put them in here. So to do that, I'm gonna create more joints, obviously, and where should I put the joints? So I'm probably gonna put the joint. I'm gonna try in here, and I'm gonna go upside down, and I'm gonna try maybe there. Let's see how it works. That doesn't look right. That's it. Okay, this looks better. Okay. I probably want this more like. Okay, so instead of picking this point, I chose that point before. I'm gonna choose this one now. If that works, and just back to 0. Yeah, and that's actually way better. So this is fine. Now I want to move this some distance, and we have a variable for the distance, which we call this bracket, which is the distance from the extrusion to the bracket. And now, okay, and the whole thing moved. Now I need 3 more of this, so I'm gonna make copies. Move slash copy, great copy. And now I'm gonna put 1 there, and do the exact same thing. Create a joint. Wait, what? Okay. The copy was very weird. It kind of rotated it. So not a big deal. We can work with it, right? And now put it there. And let's make sure it's good. Perfect. I'm gonna move this here, and this is I'm gonna try with this bracket. But as you can see, I need the opposite, right? So I'm just gonna put a negative in front of it, and that's what we want, right? Now we're gonna make a copy of both of them, right? So I'm gonna select both of them this time. I'm gonna move to copy, create a copy, and I'm gonna rotate them. Okay. And okay, that's weird. Okay, okay. 180. Now I'm probably gonna move them up here and there. Yeah, the copies are very weird. For some reason, they rotated them, but that's not a problem. We can deal with it. So I'm just gonna select this again, and here I'm gonna select this one. That works. Like again, that they hold a line. Yep. Now move this and this bracket, and perfect. Now I'm gonna do the same thing with the other one. Create another joint, and it doesn't really matter which one you select first. So you can do this one first, the bracket first, and then this one, or you can do this one first and then the bracket. It doesn't really matter. It's not gonna make a difference. No, that one. No, I said that's like what I want. So, oh, because I chose the wrong file. Oh. Okay. Okay, now let's make sure it aligns. Like, if I flip it or rotate it. Okay, let's do it again. So I'm gonna select this again. So this one, oh, I gotta select the other side. So here I select this one, but on here I select this one. Yay. There we go. It was weird because the rotation, the angle of this thing was weird. Okay, and now I move this here and negative this bracket. And now this should be it. Okay, and now everything goes to their position. And yeah, that's good. Now I'm gonna check the wheels align. So I'm gonna go this side and they actually align because there's another wheel that is behind this, right? So I have this one here, right? And there's one that is behind that one, right? So this one is the front one, and this one is in the other side. So they align to, and that's basically the drivetrain. Now I'm gonna show you guys something really cool with these parameters, and is if I change the parameters, everything changes. It's just because I use joints and everything, every measure, every number I put in a parameter. If I change a parameter, everything will adapt, right? So imagine the X length is 16 inches, right? So that moved. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna make it more obvious. Probably instead of 16, 20. Okay, that just expanded a lot. And yeah, so and I bring it back to 15 inches. I can. Okay, 15 inches. Now imagine that the gap in between, I want it to be 2 inches, right? So that shrinks, and I mean, we can see that it doesn't make any real sense, but it worked, right? It worked. So I forgot what it was. I think it was 8.9. Okay, actually, we have to do one last thing, and we have to make sure that this, okay, there's a small gap. I think that works. We could actually make it greater. So let's say I want to make this gap, right, these two, bigger. It means that I have to get this, the Mecanum wheel closer to this end, right? So I'm going to go to the motor one, right? And I'm going to go, and this, I'm going to edit this joint, right? And I'm going to bring it a little bit closer. Now 6, and now it's okay. I go back to my top thing, and now this is farther away from there, so we have a bigger gap, and that's good. So this is the drivetrain. If we actually wanted to make it move, we could, and maybe that's for another video. And if you want to render, just go in here to click on design. You choose the render tab. It takes a little bit to load, and let's see. Because there are a lot of components, a lot of bodies in here, so it takes a while to load. But it shouldn't be very bad. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So the motors are already nice rendered, and the wheels too. Actually, everything is really cool. So you can see it from the side. You can change the settings. So the scene settings. Right now it's in perspective, which means that even though I'm looking from the left side, I can see this wheel here, right? If it was orthographic, you wouldn't be able to see it, right? It's like perspective, basically gonna do like a camera or like our eyes. You can see like at different angles, right? And you can change the focal length, right? So that's very weird. Actually, looks nice. There we go. You can mess around with the exposure. That's way too much. I just put it. It was 9.5, and the brightness also. I like 1,000. I mean, you should technically leave the that's too much. Okay. The defaults. If you want to do something else, you can. I changed the background because the gray was kind of not cool because everything was like like gray. The extrusions are gray, so if it's gray, you cannot see them. So I actually like the blue one a lot, something like that. And you can change the lightning. So let's say I don't know which one. Oh, now it's sharp light, so you can actually trim, you can drag it there and it changes. You can see cool light. A lot you can do. I like the sharp one. You can download some, and you can actually, I think you can put the background to be an image in here. Let's see, background. Yeah, you can say like environment, and you'll see the same. I like the slide color. So let's say you want to get a picture of this, right? Like this. So what you can do is obviously take a screenshot of your computer, and that will be the fastest one. Also, you can click here and it will capture an image. That also works. And if you want really good quality renderings, you can click in here, render. Basically, and you choose some size. Let's say video. Oh, that's not video. Let's see. Wait. Okay, video like 1080p, and you can local render it. That's gonna use your local resources like your laptop, your RAM, and everything. If you want to do it on the cloud, that's gonna be obviously less intensive, but you are gonna be using credits. If you have an educational license, if you're like a student license for 360, you have unlimited of them, so this will not be a problem. But if you have a normal license, and you'll have to pay for credits. So you can click on here, render, and it will be in here, and you have to wait 10, 20, 30 minutes until it renders. And then you have a very cool image that you can share with your friends and whatnot. So yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for watching.